Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
They will not arrest you! Look, this woman is afraid you guys are going to arrest her if she walks out of that room! How does that make you feel? What if she was your sister? What if she was your daughter? Look at her! How are you not questioning this?
Unlike what Jamie told us last time,
Closed for construction.
it doesn't look like it's under construction.
Ask you for your identification for both of you,
Oh, why is that?
because you're going to be charged for trespassing right now.
Where's the construction?
I don't understand.
Failure to do so, you'll be placed under arrest.
Well, this is a hotel. It's open to the public. We were lied to saying it was under construction. And we've been told that the people here that are being incarcerated are being lied to that they don't have to remain in this hotel. You know, I'd like to say to the police officers here that there is a crime being committed, and it's being committed by this hotel, by the people that are incarcerated in it. I don't know, kidnapping, forcible confinement. How's that for starters? I'm not going to cooperate. I've done nothing. I am just practicing journalism here.
You're going to get arrested then for failed to identify.
You're going
The Trespass Property Act.
Well, my name is David Menzies. I'm with Rebel News. Here's my news flash.
Your date of birth and address.
Remember how 4 months ago Justin Trudeau told us that this was a conspiracy theory. This was not going to happen.
Yeah, and I remember clearly a couple months ago, Randy Hillier, when he raised this at Queen's Park, he was mocked.
Where will these camps be built? How many people will be detained?
They laughed at him, but wow, it looks like he was prophetic. Hey, how you doing there? I gotta stay on this side. Okay. Is this hotel under construction? How you doing there? We're just with Rebel News. My name's David Menzies, and we're just gonna see if we could get a room for the night.
No, sorry.
No?
No, whole place is closed.
Why is it closed?
It's closed for construction.
Closed for construction. I see people in the windows.
Okay. I don't know what to tell you. That's what it is.
Where's the construction? Tell the truth! Tell the truth! We love you! Come on! It's a beautiful day! We love you! Come out! You don't need to stay in there!
We're just gonna go and see if we can speak to somebody there, okay? Well, folks, we are in the, the foyer of the hotel, and lo and behold, there is the logo for Public Health Agency of Canada. So this has to be a quarantine hotel. Unlike what Jamie told us last time,
Closed for construction.
it doesn't look like it's under construction. I mean, they've done something to it. It looks like there's some kind of, sterile holding facility here, but this hotel has been constructed, and there is some sort of a processing area here, and we just want to get some answers to our questions, but no one's going to open these doors and no one's going to come out, so we'll just head back out. By coincidence, shortly after we came here, a bunch of protesters, anti-lockdown types, have shown up, and they're, I think, doing a great public service with megahorns and signs. They are telling the people in this hotel that they can leave. They have rides standing by for them, and indeed it looks to us that there is no legal obligation for these people to stay here. Now, speaking of legal obligations, as you can see behind me, I think we're up to about 7 or 8 police cruisers. I mean, I feel like I'm at Young Dundas Square, for goodness sakes, and they were threatening to charge me with trespass. I think it's preposterous. I simply walked away. Maybe I'm going to end up in the back of a paddy wagon before the end of the day. But in the meantime, we're going to talk to these people who I think are doing a great service to these people who are being essentially held against their will, and held against their will for no valid reason. Let's see how this day pans out. Don't you think that we as Canadian citizens, we have a right to know how much the federal government is buying these rooms? You know, you might not know this, sir. The Radisson chain is actually owned by China. You know, so there's kind of a perverse irony. Here's the nation that inflicted this misery on us a year ago with the Wuhan virus, and now they're profiting by getting our tax dollars to occupy their hotels. Does that seem right to you?
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
We don't have work for outside interferences. We pay taxes. We're working, especially in the cold weather now in the winter. Some of people have no jobs because of all this propaganda right now. And what's going to happen to people tomorrow? Everybody needs to put food in the table. Everybody needs to go to visit their friends.
Yes. So, sir, what is the plan here? Are your friends going to do a little demonstration in front of the hotel?
Show up the government that we stand up for the people and we know our rights, okay?
Hello. Hey, how are you? Oh, it's the Toronto police. Well, folks, it's really getting weird. As you can see, we have two Toronto police officers in their undercover F-250 pickup truck. When did the cops start driving Super Duty pickup trucks? And we have somebody with the hotel talking to the cops. I don't know what he's saying. We have some protesters. We had no idea they were showing up. This is a coincidence. And this lady is saying in a megaphone, you have the freedom to leave. And we did see that with DeRay. You might remember him. He was the man that Chris Sky was able to, if you want to call it this, spring out of the Radisson just by getting into an Uber and leaving. So I think there's an undercurrent that the authorities and law enforcement are actually lying to Canadian citizens, saying you have to stay here. That's what DeRay was being told. They walked out, nobody laid a finger on them, so it's clearly a lie. And here comes another police SUV. This one is marked. So I wonder if we're going to see a repeat of Young Dundas Square here. Hey, officer, how you doing there today?
Listen, I'm going to ask you for your identification for both of you.
Oh, why is that?
Because you're going to be charged for trespassing right now.
Oh, why is that? We're on the other side of the...
Apparently you came in earlier prior to us getting here.
I was trying to get somebody on camera, sir, to talk about what's going on at the Radisson.
I respect that.
Okay.
In the meantime, you're going to have to both provide identification at this point.
Well, I don't understand.
Failure to do so, you'll be placed on arrest.
Well, this is a hotel. It's open to the public. We were lied to, saying it was under construction, and we've been told that the people here that are being incarcerated are being lied to, that they don't have to remain in this hotel.
Yeah. Okay, so you're on the body camera.
I'm happy to hear that. That's great. Okay, then.
Again, you're gonna have to identify yourselves.
Okay, well.
To me.
Well, my name's David Menzies with Rebel News.
Identification we can see.
Okay, well, we're not in a vehicle, and we're not.
You've committed an offense of trespassing. Okay.
By going to the door of a public hotel.
Enter premises when entry is prohibited. You've already been advised in the past that you're prohibited from entering that place.
We were told this was a hotel under construction, and officer, there are people there. I can see a lady in the window on the 6th floor.
I'm not going to debate it.
Well, but how is this hotel that's open to the public an act of trespass if I'm inquiring about getting a room here?
I've advised you what you're going to need to do.
Pardon me?
I've advised you what you're going to need to do, which is identify yourself, some sort of form of identification.
Well, I'm just here to practice journalism. There's a demonstration here, and
we want to do this in a peaceful way. I don't want to escalate this with you at all.
Sir, I'm just standing on a street trying to do journalism. We saw what happened at Young Dundas the last couple of Saturdays, and it was disgraceful, to be honest. And I don't want to get to that either, but I'm just asking questions.
Okay, and you asked me a question, I answered it. You've been prohibited before from entering here. You entered again today after you've been told you can't come back. Okay, and you did.
Well, actually, we were never told that we couldn't come back.
That's something that I guess to deal with in court, wouldn't it be?
Okay, well, who is the individual that talked to you?
Can you get his name?
Okay. Wow, look at all this place. Well, sir, he's my cameraman. He has. We're just.
You were here last time. You you're trespassed too.
This is the first time here, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, you don't have to.
I have information otherwise.
Okay.
Okay. Did you enter the premise today?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
With David.
Yeah.
We went to politely ask if somebody would come on camera. Nobody opened the door, so we left. I don't know what the problem is. What? How is it? Is this what we come down to, officer, in Justin Trudeau's Canada, that the Toronto Police Service, the great Toronto Police Service is being used as what, the Praetorian Guard for the Trudeau Liberals? This is incredible. Okay. Officer, there is a crime being committed here. It's forcible confinement and kidnapping.
Your name, date of birth.
Okay, well, I'm not going to cooperate. I've done nothing. I am just practicing journalism here.
Well, you're going to get arrested then for failed to identify.
You're going
under the Trespass Property Act.
Well, my name is David Menzies. I'm with Rebel News. Here's my news flash.
Your date of birth and address.
Why do I have to give that information?
You're being charged with trespassing.
I'm being charged for being on a street.
Okay, sir.
You're
not being charged for being here. You're being charged for.
What about the people that are being held forcibly confined? This is like kidnapping. They're being held against their will. There is no law obligating these people to stay here. So why aren't these people being freed? What is it? I mean, if you've come en masse, officer, you should be here free. He keeps walking away when I start arguing.
You are being held against their free will. Just stand upright. Walk out.
We had no idea there was going to be a protest here, and evidently, I don't know. I didn't know that the Toronto Police Service was under the employ of the Justin Trudeau Liberals. They want to arrest me for trespassing. I don't know what they've said to you guys, but what do you make of this?
Yeah, this is craziness. It's hard to see this happening in Canada, in one of the most free in country. We come here to give support to the people, encouragement to the people so that they know that they can leave. We also come to spread awareness to those who are passing by because many of them have no idea what is happening here.
And that seems to be the case. From what we can tell, these people do not have to remain here. They're being lied to. They're being told you must remain. But we saw from other cases, people just got into an Uber and left, and there wasn't a hand laid on them. So why are we being lied to?
That's what I keep asking them. If there's nothing to hide here, where's the transparency?
Yes.
I've asked this question a few times. They're very silent when I ask this question, though, so I don't know.
They are allowed to leave, and they are being lied to. And we have media propaganda that people are believing in. Our politicians are lying to us. Our media is lying to us. And the Ministry of Health has a right to tell people about certain truths, which they're not. They're all about control right now, and that's what I feel. And I feel that this needs to stop.
If law enforcement lies about something like this, they could lie about anything.
They could lie about having to wear a mask to save your life. They could lie about the fact that the virus is killing people left, right, and center. They could lie about the fact that we are doing the best that we can to protect our people, but they're not. They're lying every which way. They're lying every time they open their mouths. And what they're doing here is there's no reason for this to happen. This is not protecting people. They need to stop making healthy people behave and act as though they're sick. That is what they need to stop doing.
And one last question. Why the huge police presence? There must be 7 or 8 cruisers. I mean, you guys are peaceful. You're not going to be doing any vandalism. You're not going to be, doing any violence. So what are the police here to do other than, I don't know, intimidate you?
That's absolutely it. It's all about intimidation. They're hoping that if they stand strong, we'll say, "Oh no, we don't want to get tickets. We don't want to get arrested. We don't want to get fined." But what they fail to realize is that we are the strong ones. We are the ones who will stand up in the face of defiance and say, "We welcome a ticket. We welcome getting arrested." If that means that we're standing up for our freedoms and the freedoms of our children and the freedoms of our elderly and the freedoms of every person in this world, I'm not scared to get a ticket.
Well, do you think that we're going to be able to spring somebody out of this little prison today, or?
I hope so. I hope so. If anyone is watching this, we're here for a ride.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And sir, I see your sign, put the rad in Radisson and escape. And that's the thing. I mean, as we understand it, they're free to walk out on their own volition, aren't they?
I'm honestly really confused. I don't know what's up and what's down anymore.
Well, we've interviewed people that have been put in these quarantine facilities. They've been told that they must remain, but they simply phone an Uber, get in, and leave. And I think,
should.
yeah.
Because this is unconstitutional. It violates the charter. I mean, we have mobility rights, security of the person. This is a huge violation.
I agree. And I mean, the police are threatening us with trespass. We're just practicing journalism here. We're interviewing nice people like you, but it looks like in John Tory's Toronto and Justin Trudeau's Canada, that's not allowed anymore.
Honestly, I'm descended from Holocaust survivors, and so I don't like internment camps. And I came to Canada for freedom, and I see it being eroded, and it hurts.
Wow. Well, you know what? I'm sorry to hear that, sir. And I'll speak to some of your fellow protesters and see what's what. Thank you.
Even not for these people, for other people who are watching, other people coming into the country that this is going to happen, we want them to know that this is not legal. This is against your human rights. We are not to be forced into anything. But we do have to remember how 4 months ago, Justin Trudeau told us that this was a conspiracy theory. This was not going to happen.
Yeah, and I remember clearly a couple months ago, Randy Hillier, when he raised this at Queen's Park, he was mocked. They laughed at him. They tried to humiliate him. But wow, it looks like he was prophetic.
But we know if you watch that, Doug never denied that this was going to happen. He never denied it once.
It seems to be a larger agenda that a lot of people are on board with. And even though COVID numbers are going down and all their justifications to continue all of these measures, their restrictions seem to be going up, even though their justifications for such are going down. Not to mention there has been no actual justification for the emergency order in the first place, thus renewing it is illegal. And again, all of it's against our charter rights, our human rights. There's no grounds.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Even if there is an emergency, that doesn't mean you get to trump the charter and the Constitution, do you?
Absolutely not. It's stated right in the charter as such, as well as the Human Rights Act, that nothing can supersede either of these two acts.
Well, sir, I hope you have room in the car for an escapee. I mean, can you imagine? Talk about the new normal. Usually you break people out of jail. Now you break them out of a hotel.
Well, I mean, one thing I heard is one of the worst things that somebody could say to you is, I wish that you live in interesting times, and unfortunately we are all living in very interesting times right now.
We love you, come out! It's a beautiful day! We love you, come out! You don't need to stay in there! You're in Canada, come out!
It's against your rights for them to hold you like this.
Hello, beautiful faces! We love you! Yeah, you look like you're in prison, my friend. Oh, that breaks my heart. How are we allowing this to happen? We are Canada! How is it possible that we are protecting a hotel which is holding housing people against their will?
Well, as the sun begins to set here at the Radisson Hotel on Dixon Avenue, the demonstrators continue to chant messages to the people inside the hotel and display signs. And there's a considerable police presence. I would argue there's probably just as many police as there are protesters. But what are they policing? The people exercising their right to freedom of expression, freedom of assembly. Certainly you saw earlier they coming down on me and my cameraman Mocha for asserting our right of practicing journalism. You know, I'd like to say to the police officers here that there is a crime being committed, and it's being committed by this hotel, by the people that are incarcerated in it. I don't know, kidnapping, forcible confinement. How's that for starters? How about coming down on the real lawbreakers and rule breakers in this land, as opposed to those people who are just asserting their rights and for freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, and yes, even freedom of the press. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Well, folks, time will tell if any of these protesters get one of those $880 Wuhan virus tickets. But if you are someone who has received such a citation, let us know about it. Go to fightthefines.com. That's fightthefines.com. We'll pick up your case. We'll put you in touch with a top criminal lawyer. We'll crowdfund your legal fees, and we'll get justice for you.